Hi, seventh grade. How are you doing? I hope that everyone is just doing very well. And I've heard from quite a few of you, and you've been sending me some pictures, and I've really enjoyed those. So keep it up. All right. I also hope that you've been able to get outside and enjoy the warm sunshine these last few days. I know that's been really helpful for me to get out of the house and to just really enjoy God's creation. Today, my daughter and I went to Oxbow Park and we had such a wonderful time. There were some wild African violets growing in the woods that we got to see. And then we also loved watching the turtles that were sunning themselves on the logs in the river. It was just so fun. So make sure that you get out and really try to enjoy nature. Well, today we're going to be continuing to work on our study of Greek myths. The story that we're going to be reading today is called The Flight of Icarus. Now, it really is the correct way to pronounce it. I had to look it up online to make sure that I was actually pronouncing it correctly. I thought it was Icarus, but it is Icarus. So, The Flight of Icarus. All right, now, before we get started, I want you to think about a couple of things and I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? So go ahead and get out your literature books and turn to page 676 and you'll see the flight of Icarus there. So I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes to do that. The flight of Icarus on page 676. All right, hopefully you have found your page now. All right, so I want you to think about something a moment before you get started on reading this myth, okay? I want you to think about a time when you were given good advice, but you chose to ignore it. So think about that, a time in your life when you were given good advice, but you chose to ignore it. All right, once you have that thought in your mind, I want you to also think about what were the consequences of choosing to ignore that good advice. I just assumed that they were probably negative, but think about those consequences in your life. What were those? What were the results of your choice? So did not following the good advice harm you in any way? On the other hand, did it help you to learn some valuable lessons and maybe even help you to just really make the decision not to make that choice again? Well, hopefully you learned something from that experience. I do have a Bible verse that I want to share with you because the Bible talks a lot about choosing wise counsel. And the verse that I'm going to share with you comes from Proverbs. It is Proverbs 12:5, which says, "The thoughts of the righteous are right, but the counsels of the wicked are deceitful." So the wicked will deceive us and trick us into believing that they know the correct choice for us. So make sure that you are choosing people that have wise counsel, that are seeking earnestly after the Lord. But because only by choosing the Lord will you have straight paths in this life, which really reminds me of our poem that we memorized, "The Road Not Taken" by Robert Frost. But you know that poem, so I'll let you go back and look at that later if you want to. So today, again, like I said, you're going to be reading The Flight of Icarus, and then you'll be answering some literature response questions. When you are finished, make sure to restate the question and write in complete sentences. Some of you are doing a fabulous job with this, and others, I'm having to send little email messages to you saying, hey, you need to redo this because you didn't follow the directions completely. So make sure that you do it correctly the first time. All right, and as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me by email, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great day.